Hello and welcome to the Economic Times ESG and Net Zero Series SDGs Summit 2021, wherein leaders from government, business, international organizations and civil society, along with a diverse group of experts and innovators, initiate, accelerate and scale up entrepreneurial solutions to tackle climate change and advance sustainable development. First up, we bring you a keynote conversation on Thinking People, Thinking Planet, Thinking Business with Shalini Nadar Malhotra, Chairperson at HCL Technologies and Trustee at Shiv Nadar Foundation.
Let me start off by asking, Roshni, on that, post-pandemic, or as the pandemic hopefully comes towards some kind of an end, the focus of most companies, at least in their rhetoric, has been shifting towards a green recovery. Now, do you think a green recovery can work when it comes to jobs, income, business growth?
It is not just needed for income, jobs, and companies, but I think today it's really needed for survival. If we just look at what's been happening in India over the last couple of decades, we have only 4% of natural forest cover left in our entire country. Starting with the tsunami many years ago, since then the number of natural disasters have increased significantly. And if you look at, it's not just loss of lives, but it's also loss of the economical damage that it does, the people that it causes displacement. I mean, there are enough metrics to say that today it is absolutely imperative that any business not only look at the environment that they exist in, but the adjacent environments around them, because it's a ripple effect and it can have catastrophic repercussions. I think India, like most companies and countries all over the world, are also competing on a global landscape. There is a global surge and demand to work with those who are much more conscious. So I think that it's not just a movement in India, but I think it's a movement everywhere.
So what, at the level of a corporation, what can companies do, and what does HCL do?
For our particular industry, I think our carbon footprint has come down significantly, but that's also just been a function of, our entire workforce pretty much working from home. Our companies and in our industry, reduction of carbon footprint, certain commitments towards water rejuvenation, using greener buildings, greener technologies. There's a lot that we can do. I don't know how big our impact will be in comparison to some other industries, but I think what I find missing, Bodhi, is that we talk about renewable energy and we talk about carbon footprint, but India just being a population of more than 1 billion people, there is also a very unique discussion which is yet to happen in India around circular economy, which is using of renewable resources. These could be the tons of e-waste that comes into that we all dispose in our country, how you can extract precious metals and actually reuse them for manufacturing.
I'll just ask you a question on your higher education initiatives on the university, and what are broadly the plans that you have for that?
So we have the SSN College of Engineering, which is in Chennai. It's in the top 10 private engineering colleges in India. We have the Shiv Nadar University in the north, in Dadri. It's a multidisciplinary university and perhaps one of the youngest institutions of eminence, which has been awarded by the government of India recently. And we have just established the Shiv Nadar University in Chennai, which is just about starting with the School of Engineering, which is 2 courses in data science and artificial intelligence. So the idea is to have higher education in the north and in the south, and both of them to be multidisciplinary universities cutting across, and we can provide quality education and access across the board.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very clear. Agriculture in India is evolving. It is collectivizing. When you think of FPOs, as also the union budget is supporting. It is mechanizing and digitizing. And here you see the boom sprayers, but specifically also drones, which clearly will feed into this. And all this really being interconnected, I tell you also, agriculture in India will become more sustainable. And to do that, we need technology in India to accelerate this evolution. Technology is multifold. You could think of new cropping systems, like more direct seeding for rice. You need to look at modern chemicals that have a better ecological footprint and help farmers deal with new and evolving pests. You need to also look at traits, be they native, be it genetic modification, but also gene editing. And clearly, digital advances will make a huge difference. We can look at interventions such as remote sensing. We look at disease, insect, and weed occurrence predictions, and we look at precision applications. There will be aspects of field-specific nutrition and more so water management. Such technologies need to fade into sustainability targets and need to be digitally enabled. This all will allow for more transparency in the growing system, which in turn will support traceability and allow consumers to exactly know how their food has been grown.
Welcome back. Let's hear more from leaders and innovators who are dedicated to achieving net zero emissions.
India has an incredible opportunity to create an impact in the global sustainability space, while at the same time becoming a model of corporate sustainability for the rest of the world. Now, if you look back at over the last decade, India has also unfortunately seen a rapid increase in climate change-induced natural calamities. But at the same time, this has also finally drawn the attention of visionary Indian CEOs and eco-entrepreneurs who are now acknowledging these trends and who are also making those necessary adaptations to make their businesses as well as supply chains more sustainable. Also, it's very encouraging, if you ask me, that we are seeing a new bandwagon of young eco-entrepreneurs who's taking India's sustainability story forward, who are innovating with their business models, and who are also introducing a sustainability first mindset that's realized in a new generation of environmentally conscious products, but also services. So if you ask me to sum it up, I'd say India is better positioned than ever to create an impact with its industries, and both large as well as small enterprises have a unique opportunity to lead the change here. As an exemplar, we lead by example in our own sustainable business operations. Like, for example, at SAP Labs India, 95% of our operations are run using green energy sources. In fact, all of our SAP offices worldwide are all set to become carbon neutral by next year. And we're also committed to become a net zero organization by 2030. So like I said, sustainability is at the heart of how we operate as an organization. But more importantly, we're also enabling our 500,000 customers to become sustainable, intelligent enterprises with SAP's products and solutions. Together with our 500,000 customers, we at SAP are very confident of creating a much more sustainable world.
So sustainability is definitely a very top agenda topic for most of the organizations. The consumers today, right? 43% of the consumers are willing to pay over 100% premium to support the brands that are sustainable and environmentally responsible. So naturally, the organizations get pressure to develop their products in a manner which are sustainable in nature. In fact, this is a talent market, and 7 in 10 workers say that they're more likely to stay with an employer who has a good reputation on environmental sustainability. So, of course, the organizations have a lot of commitment from a climate perspective, from corporate responsibility perspective, to fight the climate change and be sustainable for their products, for their sites, for their processes, and for their people. Now, IBM has also committed net zero greenhouse emissions by 2030, and we are actually prioritizing our actual reductions in our emissions and increasing clean energy usage across all like 175 countries where we are operating from. Now, how we are doing it is that we are bringing and building a lot of technologies, and we are developing them in IBM Research, and it could be technologies about developing new materials, new methods for carbon capture, so that the emissions can be removed, and it can either be equal or actually exceed the level of IBM's residual emissions. Now, when we develop these technologies, and we also observe that the whole sustainability is about optimizing your supply chain, right? Like we did a survey and we found out that 7 in 10 executives are saying that sustainability development goals can actually improve by operational effectiveness and agility in the supply chain. So it is about reaching your supply chain sustainability goals, which means you have to have an accurate real-time view of inventory. You should be able to share your data across the supply chain ecosystem in a trusted way. The companies can reduce waste, and they can have a lower cost to serve to customers by applying AI. For example, AI can detect signals, and it can detect future trends, optimize your inventory, optimize fulfillment of it has to come from this warehouse and not from the other one. It can improve the whole supply and demand planning itself, right? So there's a lot of AI which can be applied in demands planning, supply planning, inventory optimization, fulfillment optimization, and there are logistic related emissions which can optimize fulfillment and delivery, and a lot of AI models can help in that logistics delivery. IBM Environmental Intelligence Suite. This brings together AI, weather and climate risk analytics, carbon accounting, and a lot of operational data into a single SaaS solution to address climate risk and sustainability objectives. So essentially what we have done is we have used our AI expertise, our automation innovations, and cloud, and of course our deep and decades old expertise in data, and brought it together in this suite. Also, as you all would be aware, the Weather Company, which is ranked as the world's most accurate forecast overall, it's an IBM company. So we have taken weather APIs and we have put into this suite and tied all this together so that then we can give it to our clients who are in asset management or supply chain, or any retail sector or insurance sector, and if they need valuable environmental insights, they can leverage this suite. Environmental intelligence suite can be used for sustainability. It can be used by retailers. It can be used by energies and utilities, by supermarkets. And we have also added some more modules into it, like if energy and utility company wants to know and find out how to lay the power lines, how much the tree should be cut so that it's not less, not more, for them to lay a power line. So we have a vegetation management module. We have for aviation, for large aviation customers. We also have agriculture for soil and soil moisture, and we do a lot of geospatial analytics to be able to bring together and then do the impact and we have an impact modeling framework which help in the whole climate risk data. The environmental intelligence suite has been our response to this entire climate and sustainability, and we are infusing AI into it and adding more models. Like, we even add natural language processing techniques so that you can actually accurately report on emissions in spite of the data's country of origin. And shipping logistics companies, they are able to collect data at the granular level, how much fuel each truck is consuming, and based on that they are able to calculate the carbon footprint. And that's what organizations are wanting. They're saying, I want individual fleet data, or I want operational fleet data, and I want to figure out what my carbon footprint has been.
Welcome back. Let's hear more from change makers and individuals who are dedicated to attaining sustainable development goals in a timely manner.
We at Bayer have a vision of health for all, hunger for none. Yeah, and contributing to sustainable development is at the heart of our strategy. In that, what we follow is also along the vision of the UN Sustainability Development Goals, goals number 3 and 5, which focus on healthcare for all and gender equality. Specifically, I think women's health plays a very important role, and we, as a leader in women's health over the last 50 years, with our innovative solutions and products, do see an opportunity to further strengthen it. As we all know, in many parts of the world, including India, girls' and women's ability to determine their path actually is on the decision whether they want to start their family and when they want to start their family. And in that, if we are able to empower women and girls to choose the number, timing, and spacing of pregnancies, would definitely help a lot in developing a society where women play a very important role. And specifically in the family planning, we know 200 million women of reproductive age in countries like India don't use safe and effective family planning methods. Now, this could be for multiple reasons, and one is access to information, right side of doctors, and that's where digitalization, as we have seen over the last 2 years, has played a very important role. On two fronts, access to a good gynecologist over a digital media through telemedicine will definitely help women from across the board, be it urban or rural setting, to reach out to their clinician. But also getting credible information in their homes through tools like chatbot, which we have, which sits on Facebook Messenger, can give them credible, authentic information in their comfort and privacy, which is the needed for family planning. So I definitely feel digitization would help women to be better aware of their diseases and also feel empowered.
This is not a zero-sum game. In fact, long-term performance will be impacted if sustainability is not made core of the business mission. This is a huge opportunity with literally trillions of dollars of investments at stake. We should not look at it from a compliance view alone, but take advantage of this to revamp operations and reinvent business models and take market leadership in this space. This is an ecosystem play. No company can work on their own. It needs businesses within and across industries to collaborate with other government and multilateral institutions. While this is clearly has an interest and momentum, a lot more needs to be done. The world is not on track to meet net zero by 2050, and it is important to accelerate this now. It has become fashionable for companies to say that they are following the UN SDGs. However, it's important to start with a clear view of what sustainability means for an enterprise, how it aligns with its values, and include it as a part of its core strategic mission. All SDGs may not be relevant for all companies. We need to take an industry lens and see what is really relevant. What is also needed is a broader and genuine stakeholder engagement while defining these goals. And this will create the real buy-in. So I just want to go back to some things which we've already published. So we published our first corporate policy on environment in 1971, much before the Paris Accord, and we are proud of our legacy. We have recently published our intention to get to net zero by 2030. We see this not just as a compliance statement or a requirement, but it's also something that is core to our business purpose and mission. Our mission is to become a sustainable enterprise and also help our clients accelerate their net zero and sustainability journeys. At the heart of any risk management solution is the ability to get the right data, analyze it, and draw meaningful and actionable insights. Take climate risk, for example. We are working with our clients to help them understand, monitor, and manage risks associated with climate change. This requires not only digital technologies, such as IoT and edge computing, but also advanced AI algorithms to predict weather and microclimate patterns. It also requires a lot of innovation, such as the work we are doing with a fertilizer company called Yara to build a digital farming platform to help farmers improve crop yields and use less water and fertilizer.
Next up, we bring you a Power Pack panel discussion on Leadership Matters, how the C-suite is seizing the ESG opportunity.
Thank you to the Economic Times for this really great opportunity to facilitate this amazing, esteemed panel of CEOs to talk about how the C-suite can seize the opportunities associated with ESG, and I'm really looking forward to the conversation. Mr. Godrej, to hear from you, what's your views on how do we accelerate activity, and is there a business case for doing that for your business?
We had started a program about 10 years ago, which is known as Good and Green. And the idea here was that all our products should have a green label within a certain time. And for instance, our furniture products, today more than 30% of them all use materials which are certified green and recyclable. So the idea was that in Good and Green, you're essentially talking about how you can make your products much more energy efficient and less polluting and more recycling.
The Indian government is placing their bets on the micro, small, and medium enterprises to be one of the biggest drivers of to achieve India's SDGs, right? And so a lot of government initiatives also in place to help drive that ecosystem of young entrepreneurs, bring technology, bring products, bring services to drive that kind of scale for many of the sustainability related concerns.
Our commitment is, first, we are committed to Paris Agreement, we are committed to UN Sustainable Development Goals, and we are committed to support the European Green Deal. But more importantly, in IKEA, we are committed with ourselves. And then we have decided to become climate positive by 2030 and to secure a positive impact in the society across our entire value chain in all the countries where we operate. And the important thing is not only the commitment, it's about how you measure, how you follow up, and how you take action. So it is actually for real.
Apart from reducing the carbon footprint, largely in agriculture, which we have a huge opportunity to, and environmental footprint, I might add, we have opportunity to influence. The biggest piece of sustainability is inclusive growth. How do you improve livelihoods of 100 million small farmers across the world? So this represents 20% of the world of smallholder farming in Asia and Africa. We believe with collaborative ecosystems, we can not only deliver on the ESG goals, but also deliver improving farm income.
We are on more than 95% for a car factory and our suppliers on renewable energy. We use virtually zero fresh water. We do full recycling and rainwater harvesting. We've increased the water level, groundwater level of our surrounding communities and ourselves with this exercise. We have other zero discharges, completely recyclable packaging. So we have a whole bunch of activities.